Welcome back. In the previous lesson, we learned how to slice lists, modify elements, and use methods like insert or pop to manage our data. In this lesson, we'll explore more advanced list operations, including combining lists, sorting data, and working with methods like extend and reverse. Think of managing a playlist on your phone. Sometimes you want to merge two playlists together, sometimes you want to sort songs alphabetically, and sometimes you want to reverse the play order. Lists in Python give you the same control over your data. Let's first talk about extending a list. We extend a list by using the extend method. The extend method extends a list by appending element from another list or any other attribute data type. Okay, for example, let's say we can copy this and paste it in our reference so that we can have a new workspace. Okay, so let's call this list operation. Okay, so now let's say we have two lists. Okay, we can call this list one. Okay, and then let's say list one consists of apple and let's say banana, right? So we have list one to consist of apple and banana. Then let's have another list and we call it list two. And we are going to say list two consists of cherry and we can say carrot, all right? Let's use carrot. Okay. Now the extend method, it allows you to merge two lists together, right? So let's say we want to extend list one with list two. That means we want to merge list two to list one. So we are going to have list one. We have list one dot extend. We use the extend method. And what we are going to pass to the extend method is the list that we want to merge to the first list. So we are going to merge list two to list one. Okay, now let's print list one and see what we have. So we have print list one. And let's run this and see what we have. So you can see that list one now has been extended with list two. So the extend method modifies the original list. Okay. Now in this case, list two remains the same because it is not the one that is being extended. It is list one that is being extended. So if you print list two now, you are going to see that list two is still the same. Okay, so let's print list one and list two. So you can see now that list two still remain the same. Whereas list one has been modified, it has been extended with the elements in list two. This is one of the difference of this extend method with list slicing. List slicing does not modify the original list. Let me show you that quickly. Let's say we want to slice the elements in list one. So we're going to have list one. Then we use the square bracket notation. Okay, let's say we want to slice out all the elements. That means we want to extract out all the elements in list one. So I'm not providing any value as the start. I'm not providing any value as the end. So that means it's going to extract out everything. Now after the slicing, let me print list one again. So let me print list one. So if I run it now, so you can see this is the slicing. This is the result of the slicing. But the slicing does not modify, it doesn't make any changes to the original list. But the extend method, it modifies the original list. Okay. So if I print list one now, let me get rid of this. So list one has been extended with list two. And when I said other attribute data type, I mean extend method does not just append from other lists only. It can also work with any other data type that is attribute, like a string, like a tuple, and any other attribute data type. But we've not gotten to tuple, but I know we've talked about string. So you can also merge a list with a string. So far the data type is attribute. Let's see that in action. Now let's say we want to extend list one by, let's say we want to extend it by cherry. So we have dot extend list one dot extend. Okay, so let's say okay, let's use Python. That's not a fruit. Now if I run this now, okay, let me print list one. Let's see the result of list one. So I have list one. Okay, if I run this now, you're going to see that we have apple, we have banana, and string. Now the string of Python is now treated as an attribute. So that means we are extending it by each character in the string. Okay, so we have Python, right? So extending a list does not only have to do with only a list, you can extend it with other attribute data type. We can also concatenate two lists together by adding them using the plus operator. Let's comment this. Okay, we can let's leave the proper list extension as an example. Okay, so we can also concatenate two lists together using the plus operator. So we can say, to do that, we have list 1, we have list 2 already defined. Let's comment this out. We are not dealing with extend presently. So to concatenate them, we can have another variable. Let's call it combined list. Okay, so combined list is going to be list 1 then plus list 2. That is how you concatenate two lists together. So now let's print combined list. Okay, we run this now, you're going to see that combined list now consists of list 1 plus list 2. This is different from extending list because extend merge the second list to the first list. It modifies the original list that is being extended. But this concatenation now, it doesn't modify any of the lists. It only creates another new list entirely. And then it makes the content of both lists the content of the new list. So to see that, if we print list 1 and list 2 now, so let's say print list 1 and let's also print list 2. Okay, so if you print both of them now, you're going to see that both list 1 and 2 were not modified. So this concatenation, it creates a new list entirely, whereas extend, it modifies the original list that was extended. We can also sort the items in a list using the sort method. The sort method arranges items in ascending order by default. Okay, let's say we have a new list entirely. Let's create a new list. We can comment all this out. Let me delete this two line. Okay, so let's say we have a list of ingredients. Okay, so let's say ingredients consist of, we can say salt, can say pepper, and let's say we have flour. Flour is supposed to be OUR, okay, and let's say we have sugar as our ingredient. Okay, so now we want to sort these items in the ingredients. So by default, if we use the sort method is going to arrange the items in ascending order by default. Okay, so let's print ingredients now. The sort method also modifies the original list. So you can see now that ingredient, it is not creating a new list entirely, it is modifying the original list. Now let's print ingredient and see what we have. Okay, now you see we have flour, which is the third item. We have pepper, okay, so we have salt and we have sugar. But what if you want to sort your item in descending order? To sort your items in descending order, you use an input. We call it argument. Okay, but for now, let's just refer to it as input. You use an input called reverse. Okay, so if you say reverse is true, so that means, by default, it sorts in ascending order. But using reverse, that means it's going to sort it in descending order. Okay, so if we run this now, we're going to see now that we have sugar, we have salt, we have pepper, and we have flour. All right. So you use the reverse input to sort your elements in descending order. I can make a comment here that sorts in ascending order, ascending order. Why this one sorts in descending order? Okay. So you can copy that. I'm going to paste it here that this one sorts in descending, right? As I said, the sort method, it modifies the original list. If you want a sorted copy, but you don't want to change the original list, there is another function you can use for that. That function is called sorted, okay? So let's say we don't, as you can see, the ingredient list has been modified. But if you don't want to modify the original list, you want to create another list with a sorted copy of the original list. So we're going to use the sorted function. Okay, so let's say we want to create another list. Now let's call it sorted. You can call it sorted ingredients. Okay. So to do that, you use the sorted function and then you are going to pass the list you want to sort. Now let's print let's print both the ingredients. So let's call this ingredient so that we can identify them. Ingredients. This is the ingredients list. We are going to pass that, and now let's print the sorted ingredient list. So I'm going to call this sorted ingredients. Okay, so now let's pass the sorted ingredient. Now let's print both of them. So you can see that the ingredient remains the same. As you can see, it's the same as the original ingredient, whereas the sorted ingredient now contains a sorted copy of the ingredient list. So the sorted function does not modify the original list, whereas the sort method modifies the original list. Okay, if you want it in descending order, you know what to do. You just pass the reverse input. So you are going to say reverse is true. Okay, so that is going to reverse it in descending order. So now you see we have sorted ingredient to be sugar, salt, pepper, and flour. Right. When working with list, we also have the reverse method. The reverse method flips the order of items in a list. Okay, let's comment this out. This is for sorting. Let's comment this out and let's see the reverse method in action. So to reverse a list, we are going to use the reverse method. So we have ingredients.reverse. Okay, if we print ingredients now, so let's print ingredients. So if we print ingredients, we have sugar, we have flour, we have pepper, we have salt. But in the original list, we have salt as the last. So the last is now first. We have flour, we have flour, we have pepper, we have pepper, we have salt, we have salt. Don't confuse the reverse method with the sort method, setting reverse to true. This is what I'm saying. Don't confuse this reverse method with sort method that is setting reverse to true. The difference is that this one is sorting the items in ingredients. It's sorting it in the descending order. But reverse method is not sorting in descending order. It's changing the direction. Like it's bringing the first to the last, bringing the last to the first. So that is the difference. So ingredients.sort with reverse set to true, it's sorting it in descending order, like it's sorting it alphabetically in descending order. But the reverse method, it's changing the order, like the first item is going to be the last item is going to be the first. So that is the major difference between the reverse method and sort method that is having reverse to be true. Okay, so you take note of that. Don't confuse them. In our next lesson, we are going to deal with list copying. That is copying one list into another list. So for that, I will see you in the next lesson.